And Michelle Pouliot is the narrator on this. And let me just start. We're going to watch maybe about 6 minutes of it. I'm in this DVD and I didn't know I was being filmed for it.
Responding well to different dogs during exercise 1 sessions, the puppy is ready to progress to walking past distractions. Distraction exercise 1 has established the puppy's understanding of ignoring tempting distraction and that it pays off really well. Each puppy should clearly understand how to play the ignore the dog game prior to introducing exercises 2 and 3. These moving exercises introduce the puppy to staying with the handler while distractions are off to the side of the walking line, tempting the puppy to leave the walking line.
You know what, I have to tell you something.
Leash is held stationary against the body and is long enough to allow the puppy to choose whether or not to stay with the handler. The handler will keep the hand still until after the click, so the puppy is not being lured by hands to keep walking with them. The handler walks a straight line in a normal walking pace. The white line is the handler's walking line. The blue tape on the ground represents the line the puppy should not cross. The distraction will be placed off to the puppy's left.
Press the clicker button.
Completely naive hand.
And then just dropping your hand along the seam of your jeans. So you're not even going to bend. You're sort of just, what happens with the clicker is, it's going to make this elbow straight. So you go there, and it's that sequence. I just didn't do that very well. So it's a click, and the click engages your hand down here. You're going to end up, when your hand drops down and the dog is there, that's how you're going to feed the dog. This gets you in the habit, because the dog may not be right there. The dog's mouth isn't going to be there, but that's where the food's going to be. We want the dog to come and get the treat from you, rather than the instinct is to lean forward and feed the puppy. So if you're used to kind of, this hand is sort of got a place to be resting, your clicker's in your right hand, your right hand's going to depress that button. But it makes your elbow straighten out then, and go ahead and give that puppy a treat.
We're trying to
down by
test
your
if the puppy
right
raisers can do
side of
this.
your left.
If a naive handler can
You
do this.
certainly can lean if you'd like, but pretty much doing that. Just because when people lean, it tends to make their hand go here. And I know we're being nitpicky, but it's helpful if you kind of stay in this spot. Question was a great one. Do I keep walking? Click. Stop and let him eat that treat. Start walking again. You're going to walk, click, feed, and then walk again.
Step 1 is to ensure the puppy can walk on a loose leash, staying somewhat next to the handler. This behavior is clicked and rewarded many times to let the puppy experience many successes.
Leash is clipped to her belt. So she's not
Once the
touching
puppy
leash.
shows the ability to walk with the handler, distraction can be introduced. Step 1 of this exercise can be practiced with puppies while they are still working on distraction exercise number 1. The more experiences they have at successfully walking on a loose leash without distraction present, the easier it will be for them to perform in distraction exercise 2. All food rewards are given next to the handler's left leg, regardless of where the puppy is located after the click. Distractions are first introduced at a distance from the puppy that helps them be successful. Distractions in exercise 2 are located to the left of the puppy, tempting them to move away from the handler. Clicking the moment the puppy notices the distraction but does not move towards it is the goal. The blue line on the ground is not for the puppy, but to assist the handler in realizing when the puppy moves towards the distraction. Did you see the puppy just make that choice? Watch it in slow motion.
educational video then?
Now again, in real time.
I love this. This helps people see.
Following 3 successes
Okay,
in
so
a
look how
row,
close the distraction
the
is now.
distraction can be moved closer to the puppy, making it more difficult
So watch what
or
happens when the puppy
raising the
makes a mistake.
criteria.
This is tying into your question.
The
about everything.
technique used for the pup's wrong decision is called negative punishment. Negative punishment means to take away something the puppy wants. In this case,
I
taking
don't know why
away
I'm standing
all
like
chance
I don't
of
know what
being
that is.
rewarded.
I honest to God don't know.
The handler quickly backs up to the starting point and ignores the puppy in a 10-second timeout.
Now watch
Then
the second
tries
try.
the walk again. Success means the puppy learned from the negative punishment
Do you see that the
and
next
is
try was
reminded
much
of the
different?
value in ignoring distractions. The moment the puppy crosses the line,
I'm trying not
the
to leash
handler
pop. That's
abruptly
not, my hands
backs
aren't even
up
touching the
to
leash.
the
It's not a
starting
leash
point.
correction. It's intending not to
Once
be. I'm just
at
going
the
back to
starting
start.
point, the puppy receives a timeout.
Tiny little steps so I'm not
The handler gives
dragging the puppy.
no interaction, detaching themselves from the puppy for 10 to 15 seconds. Only saying, "Let's go," the handler begins another walking trial past the distraction. Success is the goal, with the puppy receiving much reward for making the right decision. If the puppy is wrong again, the negative punishment technique is applied.
Okay, I'm going to stop and just see if you have. Just when the advanced trainers are using this, as they're right before they take the step back, as the dog. This is downtown Gresham, Oregon, with a guide dog in training, an adolescent dog who's going to pull toward another dog. Let's say we've got a second decoy dog set up as a distraction. The professional trainer is going to do the same thing, except say, "Oops." Right before they do that same thing and go back to the start line. So just that oops is the all fun is going to stop. Do you see that the attempt, I realize we're splitting hairs a little bit here, but the attempt isn't to be punishing in the sense that that was wrong. It's to say, least reinforcing stimulus. I want all good things to stop. I want my attention to you to stop. I want the trial to stop. I just want to start over again. And without going back to the beginning and pausing, any click that happened right after the mistake is going to tie the mistake in and get reinforced. It's really important that there is a pause in there so that now we can start fresh, so to speak, and have a next clickable moment. I want to be able to say, I'm going to click you for making the correct choice, but I've got to get a little bit of pause in there so that my next click doesn't end up reinforcing the mistake. Is it making any sense that the pause in there is helping us temporarily separate those two, breaking the behavior chain? Connie?
When you're stopping and feeding, you're squatting down and feeding him, are you across from the distraction, or have you walked past the distraction?
I'm not. In this case, it could be really close to the distraction.
Okay.
This video really seems like, the distractions moved in really quickly here. When I'm doing this, I don't know that we're making a video for puppy raisers. I'm actually just talking to the guide dog trainers about, does this seem like this might work? Is this even a possible thing? Because remember, they're struggling with maybe not even giving clickers to puppy raisers. Like, is it too dangerous? Might they wreck it? How could they use it? This was actually an experiment. So they gave clickers to 30 puppy raisers and no clickers to 30 more, and they compared the data. I actually just realized this is going to sound geeky because you really probably want the numbers, but the results are amazing. So that the question being, do puppies that were exposed to clicker training to ignore distractions come back to training at campus any better with distractions? And the general result is yes, they do. I can try to find some of those numbers for you, but they're encouraged that this seems to have an effect down the road. Because that's really, if guide dogs fail, that tends to be why they fail. They're too distractible.
After you click, why do you stop to feed the puppy?
For two reasons. Usually a naive trainer has trouble moving and feeding, and so does a naive dog. So I actually think that, if you've done, and we've done a lot of dog training, feeding and walking is not that tough. But I see a lot of people have trouble with that, and actually the dog too. So I kind of wanted, and actually the guide dog trainers were like, you look like you're stuttering. In other words, you walk, you click, you stop and feed. You walk, you click, you stop and feed. It doesn't look like a flow. I don't want it to. I want to be able to say, click, you did enough. I'm not asking anything more of you. If I keep walking, I actually am sort of asking you to stay. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather just go, it's all reinforcement for you.